Hi, I'm Alex Garfin, and you're watching the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press today. I am so happy to be joined by Alex Garfin. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
I'm so happy to hear that. You have a couple of days off, I heard, so different than, being on set every day.
Yeah, very different. Days off, they're few and far between until they're plentiful. So.
It's a good thing to be busy though.
Absolutely. It's a great thing to be busy. In fact, being here in Vancouver and being busy is a great combination. They feed off each other well. It's a very busy city. So when you're moving around and you have a place to be, the city kind of accommodates you. And no, it's great. It's great. I also, the fact that I get to act so often and I get to be on set so often is another treasure. It's great not only for the food, which the food is pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, the pretty top notch food, but I also just I get to do what I love all day, and I get to make money off of it and have a living off of it, and to have a career off of it, which is all I could have ever asked for in my life. So
It's a gift. Something that's really cool is that you haven't graduated high school yet, but later this year, LaGuardia High School. What is the most valuable lesson that you'll be taking away from your studies there?
I think the most valuable lesson I could take away from LaGuardia is how to collaborate with a group of people who are very passionate about what they're doing. The magic of LaGuardia is it's not the building, it's not the classroom, it's the group of people that come together and the society they make. It's every generation's brightest artists coming together and making something beautiful. And they have shows. They have the SDFs, which are the drama shows. They have the jazz bands. They have the dance shows, and then they have Rising Stars, where they all come together. They have the musical, where everyone comes together, and it's a Broadway production in a high school stage, and everyone is so passionate about being there and loves it so much that the magic comes in, and it seeps through the walls, and it goes down the hallways, and it's beautiful. It's one of my favorite places on earth, and I miss it. And now it's on Zoom, so like most things.
Yeah, you can sense that you have so much passion when you talk about it. And it's nice to have a place to kind of look back on and say they helped you build your foundation to where you are today. Now let's talk Superman and Lois. You'll be starring as Jordan Kent. Prior to your audition, before being cast, how familiar were you with the Superman, Smallville, Arrowverse worlds?
As a teenager growing up in the early 2000s to 2010s, it's kind of hard to escape the Arrowverse. It's kind of hard to escape the CW. It was something that was always parallel to my life as long as I was living it. And it was not necessarily something I ever thought I would end up even being one with and being a part of. I never thought I'd have the privilege. So now that I'm here, I don't want to waste it. And now that I'm here, I want to bring what I have to the table. And particularly, I, personally as well, I want to convey a lot of Jordan's anxiety issues in that way. I don't characterized by anxiety. I wanted him to be a person who is dealing with this struggle. And I think anyone who has had issues with anxiety would tell you that it comes and goes a lot. And it's always nagging in the back of your head, but every once in a while you feel clear and it's amazing. And then it can come back on you. And I hope I conveyed that well through Jordan. I hope that I did it justice.
So let's talk a bit more about Jordan. I love how you phrase that. And as part of his character description that's been released, Jordan is wildly intelligent, but his mercurial temperament and social anxiety limits his interactions with people, and consequently, Jordan prefers to spend most of his free time alone playing video games. So there is a lot to unpack there. Let's start with video games. What video games is Jordan playing?
Oh, he plays Injustice, but he plays everything. He knows them all. He has a console. Again, they're from an the Kents in this storyline is a middle class family. So obviously he doesn't have every console in the world, but he has a computer where he can play Minecraft on it, and he has this and that. So he's someone who uses video games to shelter himself, and he uses music to shelter himself and find a safe place where he doesn't have to feel the weight of his anxiety. And I feel like a lot of people, including myself, have felt that as well, that through technology and through how we're growing up now, and I think it's very unique and in my generation, that we find comfort in it. We find our own place in it. We find our home. And bringing that to the real world, when the real world intersects with that, is when a lot of times you find yourself, because your comfortable state and the thing that you're putting on for everyone else, they collide. I think it's going to be great. I love that detail about Jordan. It's one of my favorites. There are many of my favorites, but that is one of my favorites. The fact that he is so good at sheltering himself and finding comfort within himself.
So tell me about, before you go out and film a big scene, we saw in the trailer the confrontation when the kids find out that their father is Clark Kent. How do you prepare for one of those scenes? How do you make sure you release those emotions at just the right point in time?
I get prepared for scenes that mainly involve just trying to clear my head. I am one who subscribes to the idea that acting is doing and that acting is reacting. And it's also acting as ordinarily as possible under these extraordinary circumstances. And obviously, finding out your dad is Superman is a pretty extraordinary circumstance. So, at least for that day, there was a lot of me just trying to clear my head, get rid of the take before, get rid of the take after this one. Don't focus on anything besides reacting to what is going on in this situation. Because ultimately, the groundedness is the very foundation of the show. And I don't want to lose that, especially in the more angry and the more confrontational bits. That can sometimes be lost. But if the groundedness is there, it connects with people, hopefully. And I hopefully think that's what I did. But we'll see. It comes out soon. So
Yes, we will find out soon enough. He has an interaction in one of the trailers with Sarah. Is it safe to say that there could be something there?
you know, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to reveal. However,
We'll leave that as a maybe.
we'll leave it as a maybe for now. Sarah is Lana's daughter, so Superman's first crush's kid, and yeah, he has an interaction with Sarah. How that interaction goes, it's really interesting, and it's really cool to see it progress over season one as well, because it goes in a direction that I think has that groundedness that's so trademark of the show, and it has that awkwardness that is so trademark of the show, and all
Typical
the
teenager stuff.
typical teenager stuff. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we're selling a fantasy, but we're also selling people. We're people, and we're seeing them by making them real and trying to make them something that you can relate to. And a lot of that is just how not charismatic they can be sometimes. And a 14-year-old, I know when I was 14, I was stumbling over whatever I was saying, and I was nervous to talk to girls, and all those things. There's so little smoothness about it, which I love. There's all the little bits of the spaces. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
So speaking of Sarah, you spent a lot of time hanging out with Jordan and Indy and kind of building those relationships. So tell me about that.
In Vancouver, in the CW world, in the TV show world, during COVID, you're not allowed to meet other people pretty much. You are stuck with the people that you are tested with. And really, outside of work contact, you have to limit to very small amounts of people. Otherwise, the show would get shut down. Otherwise, a lot of stuff could really plausibly go wrong. People could get sick, all sorts of stuff, which I'm sure we'll get into later. But through that, the cast has actually become a close-knit family. It became, between us three kids, especially, and my brother Max, who is here with us, it became a group that almost acted like brothers and sisters. I mean, I can confidently say that Jordan and I know each other and act at least like brothers in real life as well. We're always screwing around with each other. We're always fighting at each other, but we love each other in real life. And I really wanted that to be shown in the show as well between Jonathan and Jordan. I talked about it before, but it was one of my first conversations with Jordan is how do we make these brothers love each other? How they are naturally going to conflict. They are built to conflict in a way because they are so wildly different and shoved together, and they are twins and they share a lot of experiences. They share everything. But how do we make them love each other? How do we make them into real brothers in that way, that they got each other's back? And that push and pull is one of my favorites in the show. It absolutely is. And I hope it's people's at home as well.
I'm so looking forward to seeing those dynamics. As you mentioned, they are very different people, but we'll get to see kind of them come together because that's what brothers are. They're there for each other. So I'm sure it's nice to have a second brother in your family now. For those fans and viewers who are on edge, they don't know whether to tune into the show. What would be your pitch to them?
My pitch: give us a shot. Watch our first episode and give us a shot, and keep an open mind. To those who are naturally inclined to not want to feel to watch it, I would say that it's a very different tone than the rest of whatever they may have not liked before. And to those that did like what they've seen before, which is a lot of people, and let's face it, what was before is awesome. I have to say, give us a shot in the same way. That we're going to be a little bit different, but hopefully it's going to be in a way that builds on and it harmonizes with, and it's a good counterpoint to the rest of the Arrowverse.
In terms of the behind the scenes, because you have, that first vision of it, what has impressed you so far with respect to the sets or the cinematography or the special effects?
Those three things. No. Okay, let's go for the sets first. They built us a town. It's out in Surrey, and they built us a town.
The fairgrounds, right? I think they refurbished.
Cloverdale Fairgrounds out in Surrey, British Columbia, and it is awesome. It's an entire street with Victoria May's Diner, and it has a Smallville Gazette. It has a train station. Yeah, I think somewhere online you could probably find a map of it somewhere, but it is awesome. They built us a town, and between those, we also have the Kirk and Noel stages, and they're natively after the two stars, the original two, Superman and Lois, I think from 1948, but I could be wrong about that. And those are filled with, again, incredible sets that look real. You walk into it, and all of a sudden you feel like you're in a government building, or you feel like you're in a house in Kansas, and they're all right next to each other. And it's really trippy because I always get lost. As for the special effects, that's another thing that it was just so uplifting to see. I didn't get to see the special effects until obviously after we shot, but the stuff I've seen so far is just beautiful. It looks beautiful. It's aesthetically pleasing in a way that it adds to the show's art. Same with the cinematography. It was initially done. It was done by Gavin and Lee Krieger, who directed the first episode and the second episode. Some of these shots are just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Some of the ones just outside the Kent house, just looking at everyone and how it's moving, how it's shot, just adds that groundedness, but it also adds a layer of beauty, and it's just great. It's like watching an art,
You are getting me so excited for this show already. I love what you mentioned earlier about, despite having heroics, the show is really grounded in family. So speaking of having Tyler and Elizabeth as your on-screen parents, you can't get any cooler than that.
No, you can't get any cooler than that. I always do go up to people now. My dad's cooler than yours. He's Superman.
But what's it been like getting to work with them? Is there?
it's working with two pros. It's working with two professional and kind people, a combination that's rare, mind you. Since the day I've stepped in, they made me feel so comfortable. They've made me feel able to express, and watching their work is just for me. Watching them uh, so great at it makes me aspire to be them. It makes me aspire to have that level one day. And again, I think that level of trust adds to that family dynamic. In the end, you love your family. Whatever conflict there may be, it's on top of that foundation of love. And I think we've built that. I think through our time together here, we've built that. I think we really do love each other off screen, and on screen. I think that shows a lot.
Has there ever been any moment where they have kind of acted like your parents when the cameras were not rolling? Has it kind of flowed over yet?
Oh yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. It was there was the other day, and I was screwing around. I was just like, I was like singing some song. I forgot what it was. I think it was a Steely Dan song. I was like, I decline to walk the line. And, you know, they were getting prepared for a shot. And then I remember Bitsy goes up to me and she's like, shoot, shoot. And I'm like, all right, yeah.
Telling your
It was
child
such
to
like a mom thing. It was such a mom thing. I was just like, oh, mom, come on. And then Tyler can definitely be the embarrassing dad sometimes. Absolutely can be the embarrassing dad. He is very, he can definitely be Clark Kent every once in a while.
all of these stories have to come out in some, or these instances in a blooper reel. Hopefully at the end of season 1, hopefully someone's catching this footage. Speaking of during filming, during a pandemic, how has that been for you?
It's had its difficulties. It can be isolating sometimes, and it can definitely be an uphill battle. But again, an uphill battle can still be won. An uphill battle can still be done well. It's just that extra work we have to put into it. So the safety measures on set are very strict. They're put in place so that it can minimize the damage when damage eventually comes. And then outside of set, when you're not working, you have to stay to yourself. You have to make sure that you're not seeing anyone or you're not doing very much. So also, I mean, mask wearing on set, that's another big thing. We have to wear masks between takes, and we have to wear masks when they're setting up shots and everything. And there are always people there to remind us. So there's little time when we're not wearing masks unless the cameras are rolling. But it adds an extra challenge, but it also, that challenge adds extra bonding. Just like how soldiers can be happy when trudging across mud and dirt because they have each other. This is like that, but a lot smaller.
That is great, but like really hats off to everyone, the cast and crew. You guys have been filming for a bit now. I think you have 4 months to go. So hopefully everyone continues to stay safe and healthy so the show can be made and finished on time. Now that you're part of the CW family, have you been adequately prepared for the amount of fanfare?
Probably not. I mean, personally, I do it because I love acting. It's why I did theater for so many years. It's why I went to LaGuardia. It shaped my life like nothing else has because I'm always pursuing acting. Whatever may come with that, I'll deal with. Whatever may come with that, I'll use and I'll appreciate, and I'll obviously I'll enjoy for the fact that other people have been enjoying my work. But I'm an actor. I'm an actor way before I will ever be a celebrity, and that will always be the truth.
Something I love is that you have been doing occasional Instagram lives and inviting fans to come on and ask questions. So, where did that idea come from?
Sheer boredom. No. No, I started that initially because I wanted to reach out to people and I wanted to see what the audience felt and feeling like people are doing. And I also wanted to use whatever platform I may have to help people in whatever way that may be. So if saying thank you when someone says they like what they're seeing is making their day, I mean, I will do it all day. If someone DMs me and just says congrats and me saying thanks makes their day, I will do it all day. It's just I want to make people's lives better. I enjoy that a lot. I enjoy meeting people and interacting with people. Another thing that hasn't happened since COVID. So all those things combined, not to mention the fact that I get to play music all the time from right here. So
I think that's great. I know that people have hopped on and gotten to interact, ask you a bit about, the show, maybe get to express some fan theories that they have. I wanted to talk about music because you have a passion for singing, piano playing. Tell me where this all came from.
My entire family is musical. In fact, I have a great uncle who used to tour as a jazz musician way back in the day, Speedy Garfin. And my dad is well, he plays the drums. And so I've been exposed my whole life, particularly music from before 1990, which of course annoys Jordan and Indy. But but I've been exposed to music my whole life. And I was taking piano lessons when I was a little child. I'm sorry about that. I was taking piano lessons when I was a little child, and it wasn't my thing. Eventually, I realized that just wasn't necessarily what I was looking to get out of it. Yes, I was becoming a better piano player, and it's sure the best way to become a better piano player that quickly. But for me, a lot of times I found it too rigid. And so I eventually quit those. And freshman year of high school, I just started screwing around and playing stuff I've heard and being able to improvise a little bit more and just jam out with people. And all of a sudden it became fun and it became almost a spiritual thing. It became a ritual in my life. And like any ritual, it became a source of comfort as well. I remember there were times in high school when I was just having the worst day. I I I was being crushed by everything that was going on all at once, and I felt that weight. And I used to want to isolate myself. And one of the ways I used to do that is I actually used to go to the music department in the basement and take one of their janky pianos and tune it up a little bit. And I would sing songs and I would be playing. And there would be this one song that I used to sing. It was by Nina Simone called "I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free." It's one of the most beautiful songs ever written. It was one of the main ones in the civil rights movement. And since then, it's taken on a new life as well. And I remember that ritual filling me with purpose again and filling me with clarity. And I felt as if I exhaled a gasp I let in years ago. And it was great.
That is so special to have that connection with music. And on that note, we heard that you will be playing us something. So if you would do us the
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what the rules are with everything. So I just decided I can do a song I wrote. This was just something, it was part of 3 songs I actually wrote for my girlfriend back in New York. And I generally, every time she has like trouble sleeping, I play her some music until she goes to sleep. And it's just something we do. And now I'm 2,000 miles away. So yeah, this is what it is. I know I love you until the moss grows on my soul. I know you could need me until the sun is cold. But I know anywhere I go, or where this journey roams, You can save my day from 2,000 miles away. 2,000 miles away. You can always give me a call after a sleepless nightfall, and I could sing you songs. I know I feel you until books give way to scrolls. I know I feel you until steel can grow mold. But I know as long as I am gone, or your noon is my dawn, I can feel your warm embrace from 10,000 miles away. But 2,000 miles away, you can always give me a call after a sleepless nightfall, and I could sing you songs. I know you would see me until coal turns into gold. I know you would see me until the sky begins to. But I know that your gaze will meet mine in person or FaceTime. That I could see your eyes from 10,000 miles away, so I can feel your love in mine, and I can feel it drying. But then it all comes back again. I see you and start flying. 2,000 miles away, you can always give me a call after a sleepless nightfall, and I could sing you songs. You can always give me a call after a sleepless nightfall, and I could sing you songs.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. It's such a sweet song. Like modern Elton John, like, do you take, I'm guessing you take some inspiration from him?
Yeah, I mean, I love Elton John. I mean, this was just something, again, I wasn't expecting to share, but it was just something I wrote for her, along with, it was one of 3 songs so far. I've fallen more in love with classical music as well. I think the intricacy is just beautiful, and I've fallen less in love with playing it because, first of all, it's hard, and also it's a bit like a coloring book. You can color in everything, and you can make these beautiful things, but ultimately the fine lines of it, they can be restrictive sometimes. And you can have this beautiful expression, and it's absolutely gorgeous and well crafted, but the personal expression is limited, and that's why I love listening to it. But this is more like I'm given a subject, and I can just write, and I can just draw, and it feels so satisfying to me.
You should definitely continue to write music, and what you're inspired by, though. It really sounds great. Elizabeth or Bitsy posted a video. You were singing Elton John's Your Song once on set. So is there a piano there for you to play during breaks?
Only for me to annoy people with.
I'm sure it's not annoying. I'm sure they like it.
No, I sometimes play in lunch breaks. That was actually a different piano. That was actually a keyboard in a church that we were on location at the time. But there is actually a piano in the Kent house, so I can play that every once in a while. And that, it's that ritual that brings me comfort, and it brings me joy, and it feels good.
It's a nice escape, a nice release of energy. We have a signature question for you. If you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
Ooh, which would I be and why? I'm gonna have to go with rum raisin. I'm gonna go with rum raisin because not because it's filled with alcohol, but because it's an interesting combination, and it's something I can enjoy until I have too many raisins, and then then sometimes it's less enjoyable. At least I didn't say vanilla.
That
I
would
could, I
be
could,
like the basic plain flavor.
if I went vanilla, I have said something about there, or even chocolate. Chocolate's enjoyable to all, right? I don't know if anyone
I
doesn't
like
like
rum raisin. That's a good one to
chocolate.
end things off on.
Raisins.
That is all the questions I have for you, Alex. Thank you for taking the time to chat. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was awesome. This was a lot of fun.
For everyone watching, make sure to catch Alex in Superman and Lois. It premieres February 23rd on the CW. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.